Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more AI-only Steel Faith Overhaul time-lapse campaign. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing up to around about turn 1000 from turn, I think we're at turn 600 at the moment. So we're going to play about 400 turns to see how the world does develop from the previous episodes. And let me tell you, it gets pretty goddamn crazy as we move our way through. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, there's some pretty insane stuff that goes down. I do have to go ahead and introduce a new mod that goes ahead and makes every faction declare war on each other, because there was ending up being a NATO alliance of all the forces of good that still remain, and no one was fighting one another, so we had to spice things up, tear that alliance apart and bring chaos and havoc to the world, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it does end up with a pretty crazy ending. Now if you want me to continue this on and kind of do the final step in this campaign, then let me know in the comments down below, and obviously by hitting that like button. Let's jump into where we last left off and see how the world is going to start off. If you obviously missed the previous episodes, so you don't need to watch them, and we'll just see how everything is at this current moment in time. Okay, so this is where we left off last time. Basically, the forces of evil have been completely eradicated. The Tomb Kings were this kind of last bastion down in the south, and they actually ended up getting declared war on by the NATO alliance. Yeah, the NATO alliance of the Wood Elves, Bretonnia, the Vampire Count, don't really know how they're still in it. I think they just have Castle Drakenhof left. The Dwarfs, the Empire, the Lizardmen and the High Elves all kind of declared war on the Tomb Kings after they'd helped them beat back the forces of Skaven and everyone else who was evil, the Dark Elves, Beastmen, all of that stuff. So they basically betrayed Zetra and went down to attack. And you can see there's even some Wood Elf armies and High Elf armies making their way to invade the deserts down here, which is pretty harsh of them, I will say that. The Empire have been completely beaten out of Altdorf. They actually still have Altdorf, that's so cool that they took it back. But I mean, there's a lot of heavy chaos corruption all over the lands. The Dwarfs have a very nice bit of territory, same with the Lizardmen and the High Elves. We'll quickly take a look at the power rankings. We can see that the High Elves are up there with 81 settlements. The Lizardmen are close behind them with the Dwarfs, not too far behind that either. So this is basically the world at turn 404. We'll just basically go ahead and start simming the turns and see how things develop, see if what factions declare war on what factions. I guess what I will do is I will go ahead and sim it until the Tomb Kings are taken care of, and then maybe we'll see how this NATO alliance lasts, if it will be broken or what. R.I.P. the Tomb Kings. Again, I guess, because they're already undead. But R.I.P. to the Tomb Kings. The NATO alliance was just far too strong for them, taking bits of land. I mean, this is pure border gore right here. Absolutely disgusting. But yeah, they've been wiped out. Everyone kind of taking up land wherever they can. Bretonnia, reclaiming actually. No, they did actually get one piece in this peace treaty down in the south as they divided up. Mainly the High Elves, though, getting a pretty strong base down here. The Dwarves taking back their mountains. However, the mountains are being, infested by Wood Elves. That's a grudge right there. Some Empire, and the Empire even hold the Misty Mountains down there. I'm sure they can't be happy about this. They're lost holds being held by the foreigners. They'll probably go and try and take them out. The Wood Elves actually have a pretty strong base down here, taking these temples as well. And Durthu himself came all the way down south. Praise Sigma indeed. I'm just seeing if there's any legendary lords down here which we should really take account of. Oh my god, the High Elves have got so many armies. Tyrion is all the way down here looking to end this war. And all of their goddamn agents, I mean, that's agent spam right there. That's absolutely disgusting. So, yeah, so now, at this point in the campaign, basically the High Elves and the NATO alliance that they're kind of ahead of just would not declare war on one another. So I had to go ahead and grab a mod called Chaos is a Ladder, which basically gives every faction minus relations with one another, because I simmed about 200 turns and nothing changed whatsoever. So I went ahead and stuck in that Chaos is a Ladder mod, which is kind of funny, Chaos, and I'm playing as Chaos. Basically, that's just going to make this NATO alliance break up. Maybe the Russians did something crazy and now everything is going mad and everyone's trying to fight for themselves. So yeah, we're going to see this map completely change. I mean, if we take a look at the power rankings really quickly, just to see who kind of came out on top, nothing really changed in the power rankings whatsoever. I mean, the Wood Elves actually have 32 settlements, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, let's jump ahead and see how, the world is after everyone declares war on one another. Okay, so the world is now finally at war with one another. Basically, every faction has just declared war on each other. There's a few kind of separate ones, like Colfrans isn't at war with the Wood Elves yet, even though you would think they would be because they actually hold a fair amount of territory. The Dwarfs are basically at war with everyone. Literally, they're at war with all the factions that still left remain. If we quickly take a look at the power rankings as well, we can see the Lizardmen have just demolished the High Elves, just taking that advantage. Same with the Dwarfs as well, really being the step out forces. You can see that down here in the south of the New World, that the Lizardmen are just descending upon Tetlus's old territories. There's a few kind of small garrisons left remaining, but we do have the Slam Priest, and nice, a level 40 Slam Priest, besieging these lost temples, looking to reclaim them, and I think, you know, it's only a matter of time until they do. Yeah, these Slam Priests are in full force. The Great Plan is activated, but I think the biggest thing is that the Lizardmen are pushing into Ulthuan against the High Elves, and they've also taken a large amount of territory up here as well, pushing down to kind of squeeze out the High Elf last stand. And I mean, they could easily sail across here as well if they had any armies activated up in Norska and just invade them. So the Lizardmen are kind of taking the advantage, and I mean, I think everyone expected the High Elves to do really, really well. We also see the Empire taking some of the Chaos Wastes to the north as well, but I think the Dwarves are really going to start reclaiming a lot of territory, as they've got basically the entirety of the kind of the south, Border Prince lands, and, like, you know, the territory over here by Talia. But the Lizardmen still hold, you know, territory down here, you know, kind of reclaiming and consolidating. But again, I think the Dowie aren't at war with the Lizardmen, which is interesting because that kind of, I guess, means that they can just wipe the High Elves out down here in the Wood Elves as well. God, that's a grudge indeed to bear. So nice, let's just jump ahead once again and see how things develop. My God, the Great Plan has been activated. Look at that. The Lizardmen have basically completely annihilated the High Elves. They have a few pockets of resistance still left remaining, but the entirety of Ulthuan has been taken by Mazdamundi and his Slam Priests. That is crazy. That's in the space of, what, like 50 turns? I did not expect that much change to happen. They've also consolidated their power down here. However, the Empire have also gone pretty ham, smashing the Dwarfs back into their southern mountains. As well as that, the Wood Elves have also taken a lot of territory. However, I think if, now that the Lizardmen are at war with the Wood Elves, I think that's going to completely change. Again, we'll take a look at the leaderboard real quick. We can see that the settlements for the Lizardmen are 132. They basically have almost half of all the settlements, Colfrans taking 64, and the Dwarfs in 47 settlements. So I think the second and third place can really switch between these two, but, you know, the Lizardmen are definitely holding their first place right now. There's just so much territory which they hold. I can't believe they have secured Ulthuan. Now, a quick question, and the Dowie is still not at war with the Lizardmen either, which is very interesting. We actually even have Colfrans up here trying to push in. Yeah, that's crazy to see Colfrans moving in. Castle Drakenhof has been taken. We have a priest right there. It's going to be hard for the Dwarfs to rally, but I mean, they do have Ungrim level 40. He must be pretty goddamn hard to kill. And, you know, I mean, they've taken Barak Hills. They can push on Karak fairly nicely if they wanted to. I'm sure the Dowie won't let that happen, though. Yeah, I'm sure the Dowie won't. So again, let's just jump and see how things develop. Okay, so we skipped ahead about 100 turns, and as you can see, the Lizardmen are still on their rampage, invading the old world, securing all their territory. The Empire have also kind of been beaten back because of this, and as always, the Lizardmen and the Dowie aren't at war, which has really saved the Dowie because it allows them and the Lizardmen to both gang up on the Empire and start taking a lot of territory away from them. Because I think if it wasn't for the Lizardmen, the Dowie wouldn't be able to, you know, push them back, but because they're, you know, supported by these guys with so many level 40s, the Dowie with Thorgrim and the rest of his boys can just move across the Empire territory, reclaiming at will. I want to see something, actually. I want to see the Vampiric Corruption. The Vampiric Corruption has basically been completely wiped out, because at one point Altdorf was covered in it, but I think it's only really Castle Drakenhof which has it left remaining, which is being held by the Dowie now. Who's leading that assault? We have Dwimbar Kandum holding that, which is pretty cool. Anything up in the north as well? Just a really really look like too many armies up there. They're mainly just consolidating this territory and getting ready to push them back. Surprisingly, the Wood Elves have just been in their mountains, chilling with the Yoke of Ages as fresh as ever. Are they at war with... they are at war with the Lizardmen, but Lizardmen just apparently don't seem too hyped to go into there. I imagine Vidalia will look to reclaim back these mountains as well if them and the Lizardmen ever do go to war with one another. As you can still have, we still have obviously Volkmar right up here, Cole Franz, and Balthazar Gelt. But all three of them are up there, I guess, on the front lines fighting against the Lizardmen. So yeah, things are heating up. I mean, that's kind of nice. The Wood Elves have all of it. So the Wood Elves at war with the High Elves? They're not. So that's kind of interesting. Also, though, Tyrion and his boys were all the way down here, so I'm surprised they haven't done better against the Lizardmen. I think the Lizardmen just have so many armies, so many level 40 generals. I mean, if we just click, everyone's a level 40 general at this point. There's so many of them. Oh, we have Ilariel though here though. She's causing some havoc in the Dowie lands. That's a grudge definitely right there. But yeah, cool. So yeah, the world is very much lizard at the moment, but will it remain? We have about 100 turns left of this video. So let's just jump and see, you know, if anything else crazy happens. I imagine the Wood Elves and maybe the Empire are going to have their last days in the next couple turns, but we'll see. Poor Cole Franz. The Dowie have completely demolished the once great empire of the Empire. I don't think there's anything left. I think Cole Franz is literally destroyed. But not only that, the Dowie are also at war with the Lizardmen now. And as you can see, they've taken a large portion of territory from them. Yeah, there are only, what, 6 factions remaining, including myself. The High Elves have 1 province left down here. You got some random like roaming armies as well, but besides that, it's literally like they have 8 provinces between them. The dwarfs have 101 provinces, and the Lizardmen have 106. And I don't know, I think the Dowie might really start to put some pressure on them as they continue to be aggressive, because I don't know, the Lizardmen are so stretched, and they also have to get their armies from here across and stuff. And I think the Dowie obviously will just have a large portion of troops up here. So many agents everywhere, literally so many. A nice little face-off right here between the True Eye. Oh, that's a really cool, like, Dwarven Hole. Oh, it's like Bretonnian. Yeah, that's kind of cool, though, to see the Dowie own Bretonnian provinces. I, like, barely ever see that whatsoever. But that's really cool nonetheless. The Lizardmen are obviously garrisoning, though, up their defensive formations up here. Plenty of Slam Priests roaming around the world. You've even got their cool-looking boats as well, which you don't really get to see too often. I wonder where Mazdamundi is. I'm sure he is somewhere. Maybe turn on character names. Will it show us where Mazdamundi's all the way up here, which is pretty interesting. Maybe I'll leave this on for now. I don't know. It might get a little bit spammy, though, with all the different armies around the battlefield. But at least we can see where the armies are, so that's kind of cool that we can do that. So yeah, that's going to be it then for this episode. If you guys want to see a continuation as we play down 2-1 faction, I'll simulate, probably it'll take another 1,000 turns for this to go up, but I'll be more than happy to do it if this video does well. We'll see how things develop over the next 1,000 turns or so, because I mean, we're already at turn 1,000, so that's pretty goddamn crazy. And I don't know, I put your bets down below in the comments who you think have a good chance of winning this. Do you think it's going to be the Lizardmen? Do you think it's going to be the Dwarfs? Or do you think the Wood Elves or the High Elves can come back from their like 2 provinces and reclaim the win? I mean, I think the Dowie have this, honestly. I think their late game units are just going to win them the day, but I mean, the Lizardmen do have the advantage in size, so yeah, it's all to play for right now. So if you guys did enjoy this, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.